Hey everyone, and welcome to Isms by Josie. Today we're going to be doing a Mother's Day design, continuing from the previous video of our Polygel infill. For my returning subscribers, thank you so much for tuning in, and for my new viewers, please consider subscribing, share, hit that like button, leave a comment below, and click on that notification bell for future videos. So if you had not checked out the previous video of me doing a polygel infill, please check that out. If you have, we're just continuing where we left off, and I'm starting by I'll be using Born Pretty stamping polishes throughout this video. I like using these for nail art because one, the consistency I'm finding is that of like acrylic paint, which is going to work great for this design. Also, it's fast drying, so at least I have that, so I won't be too worried about smudging things around. But yeah, so I'm just using my detail brush to put down some letters on the 4 nails that I have for you guys today. Again, I didn't have the heart to remove my thumbnail. It's been maybe a month already. I don't know. You can check back at the video that I did for that. But yes, so I'm working with 4 nails, and I was like, well, how am I going to do a Mother's Day design with just 4 nails? Anything is possible. So I was like, oh, why don't I put my mother's name on my nails? So my mother's name is Felicia, for short it's Feli. So this is a perfect fit for the design that I'm doing today. I could have done an easy Happy Mother's Day, but I'm going to be a little bit more specific. So my mother's out of state right now. So when I post this video, she'll be able to see it, and I'm sure she'll love the design. I'm super happy with how this came out, and I'm loving the lettering that I'm doing. It reminds me of like that old English, like New Times Roman kind of look, kind of, but not really. I love doing kind of like a I can't even say it right. Calligraphy? Yeah. I added an extra R somewhere in there. But I used to practice how to use those pens. I'm just not gonna say the C word. But anyway, so moving on to the flowers. Now, I've seen tons of craft videos over the course of my life because I love craft work. And I'm in New Jersey, so like state channels like 13 or whatever, they would have these craft channels, and I saw this lady doing like decoupage, I think it's called. I don't know. But it's basically acrylic paint with like a basic brush, and she's making these mad, beautiful designs with it. So I figured, okay, let's continue this thing that I started a couple weeks ago. I did that yellow kind of iris lily looking design with the stamping polishes. Well, I wanted to continue this because I definitely wanted to throw in flowers for Mother's Day. And basically, you get 2 different kinds of colors, a light and a dark, and you feather it off into like a rainbow shape. Now, as you see, like it's not perfect by any means. Doing this technique on a small surface is much harder than doing it on a piece of paper. Just like with, drawing or anything that I've mentioned in my previous videos. But it's so easy and so fun. So if you want to try this out, yeah, I would recommend using the stamping polishes also because they brush on very opaque. If you use certain nail polishes, they're kind of translucent, so you won't get the same effect that you see here. So I recommend using stamping polishes and just do that little shimmy with the brush. I've got like 3/4 of the brush covered in one color and 1/4 of it covered in the light. You can obviously flip that around and do dark to light, or what have you. But yeah, you just do these little weird rainbows back and forth. If you find that it's getting muddy and it's looking more of one color than the other, just grab the opposite color and just do a little line to break it up, and it looks like a a stinking flower. I mean, for real. And I'm psyched about this because it started out as like, you know, a design I did a couple weeks ago, and I was into it now. So I'm like, this is so cool. I want to keep doing this for future designs. So today I'm going to be exercising this technique. I highly recommend. Um, you know, up close, it's nice that if you can get the petals to look very individual and get that right ratio between the colors. But from far away, as you can see here, it looks like little roses. It's just beautiful. So, yes, I highly recommend trying this out. But I'm just going to be doing 2 of these rose heads on each of the nail. And I wanted to add more color into this. I didn't want it to be all just one color, or at least one family of color. So I've got some blue and some white that I'll leave a link to the stamping polishes, the Born Pretty stamping polishes below. But yeah, so here I'm doing smaller flowers, and I'm just doing the same technique of doing these rainbows back and forth. And you see how it's like too muddy, that little bud. I'm going to go back in after this and just put a few dark lines. If it's too dark, I'm going to put light lines. You just want to break up that space to make definition. And then when you do that, you know, just imagine like it's a petal. So don't do like a straight line. Do more of an organic, flowy type of line. But I am pulling this close view so that you guys can see what I'm talking about. So because this is a tinier detail brush, it is getting muddied up. But in a minute, like just right now, I'm going to go in and break it up with the darker blue because it's too light here. And as you can see, it's kind of transforming itself into a little rose, rose heads? Flower heads? I don't know. But yeah, it doesn't have to be perfect. And that's what I like about this. Like, sometimes things just happen from an accident. I mean, I just started doing this stuff a couple weeks ago with that yellow and purple, and it was a mistake. I tried to do like a petal French tip, like a French tip that had petals, and it just didn't work out right. So then I threw different colors on top of it and made it look like a field of, you know, irises. So I really like how, I guess they're called happy accidents. It brings out my inner Bob Ross. But yeah, so I'm excited about this because my mom loves flowers. She definitely doesn't like purple, and I have to make a point of that because for some reason everybody thinks that her favorite color is purple. So I made sure to not put any purple in this design today. But anyway, yeah, so for all the mothers out there, happy Mother's Day, especially to my viewers, if you are a mother. I could only dream to be in your shoes one day, good and bad, because you guys rock. And my mom, for a good chunk of my childhood, was, you know, a single mom, so, and she killed it, and I wouldn't know how I would ever be able to do that if I were in her shoes. And I don't consider myself a bad person, so she definitely did right with me. At least I would like to hope so. So I'm taking this green and yellow, and I'm just organically making some unrealistic stems for you guys. I mean, you know, I'm not trying to be like some realist painter or anything, but I love the color that it makes when you combine 2 colors. So you can not only just put a vine down, I'm going to put down some leaves, and it's going to look really nice. It's going to look like a nice full spray of flowers. So again, yeah, I would highly recommend trying this technique out. I mean, it's one thing to put it on paper, it's another animal putting it on a nail, and I honestly really loved and had so much fun doing this. And again, I really hope that when my mom does see this design, she ends up liking it too. She'd probably want it on her nails and not, mine, but I don't know if she would want her name on her nails though. It'd be like, oh, hello, my name is, or like if you forget your name or something. I just had to be a little silly there. But yeah, so, I'm first generation born here. So there's always been like this kind of rocky road between me and my mom as far as like getting used to each other's cultures. Like I'm Filipino, but I'm really American. So it's really hard for her to understand the differences and why it has to be different. I guess it doesn't have to be different, but I can see like just my experience being in the Philippines and obviously growing up in America, ideologies and morals and values are so much different compared to the two. So, I mean, I can see where she's coming from, and I try not to disappoint too much, but as you can imagine, growing up, I probably did a lot of that. But that's why moms are the best. Like they love unconditionally, and despite the cultural differences, we definitely got to a point where we can better understand each other and kind of honor each other's cultures. And of course, my mom being here for over 40 years, something like that, like she kind of just eventually learned how to how to acclimate to the United States here. I mean, so much so that, I did tell her a joke, and I think this is the funniest thing that, like, there's this huge thing. I don't know where it came from. So if anybody can tell me where, people were saying, bye, Felicia. I don't know where that came from, but I heard it all the time. And I told my mother, because she worked, where she worked, there was like a bunch of people, younger people, and sometimes they would poke fun at her that she would tell me about, and I'd be like, oh, well, just tell them bye, Felicia, and she's like, but that's my name. I'm like, yeah, I don't know, but just say that. Yeah. So I've been like trying to teach my mom like a couple of the hip things. I mean, I'm not even hip, so that's a difficult thing in itself. But yeah, so after I've done those green viney things, I'm mixing up some yellow and white to do these little buds of whatever. I don't even know if it's a real flower, but I figured let's just put little buds everywhere, and I think it completes the whole look because the way it was before, it was fine, but this definitely makes it look like there's filler. You've got your main flowers, your subflowers, you got the greens in there. So this is definitely looking like a really nice spread of flowers that, if you bought at a freaking store would be like hundreds of dollars. Maybe not hundreds, but probably 100. But anyway, so after I finish that, I'm just going to do some scrolls, and I've done a bunch of scrolls for you guys, so you can always look back at my other videos if you'd like to learn how I did that. But I figured that these scrolls are just going to give it a nice frame and filled look to the set. It's going to kind of bind the letters with the flowers and just mesh well with the entire nail, I think. So that's why I'm adding these here. I am using the stamping polish, and that was a little a bit hard to get used to because I normally do this with gel polish and it glides on super nice, but when you leave stamping polish out like this, it slowly tends to dry, so the consistency is different. So you're not gonna, like in the beginning, you'll get a nice glide, and towards the end of your design, you're working with paste. But I like that that happens because then it gives this, these scrolls a raised look, which was what I was hoping for in my previous scroll designs, but I don't have that gel paste. I just have gel polish. I probably should invest in gel paste, but this is actually working very nice. So stamping polish it is. But yeah, so as I mentioned in my previous video, we're going to be celebrating Mother's Day off Mother's Day in the hopes that when we do go out to eat, it won't be super crazy. And I think that's the smarter way to go. My mom's super happy with just remembering her. And I practically call her every day, but I think she's getting annoyed with me at this point. I mean, working from home, I have like just more opportunities to, you know, multitask, and so I can take a phone call and draw a house, you know, it's just not much to that. But anyway, I'm going to top this up with some matte top coat. And I'm just gonna, it comes off glossy, but when you nail cleanse it, removing that sticky layer, it shows the matte top coat on there. And we're almost done with this, you guys. It's a very nice, should be easy design that you all can do and play around with. And I'm putting on some cuticle oil. And I did do a nail cleanse on the nails just to remove that oil, to keep that matte finish, but this is the end result, upside down, but that's okay. I'm going to flip it over. Happy Mother's Day to my mom. I love that lettering. I should do lettering more often on nails. I think I'm getting better at it. But these flowers, oh my goodness gracious. I need to do like a real painting on my nail one day. I mean, I do architecture, and I was thinking about doing like the Taj Mahal or something, but that's going to be a lot of work. At any rate, thank you so much for watching. This is Isms by Josie. Please share, like, and subscribe for future videos, and join me again next week when I work on my short nails. I'll see you again next time. Thanks. Bye.